If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing.
Somewhere on the internet. Welcome to the MMA for March podcast with your hosts, Andy and Ethan.
Hey.
Oi.
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 Welcome back.
Welcome
Oi,
back.
God,
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show of shows that is MMX for Marks podcast. Imagine if we had some kind of goofy fucking 90s jingle, like where it would like you would kind of come in, like you would turn in like that night, that like 80s, 90s graphic, and it'd be like dun 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 dun, and then it would come in, I would come in and it would just be like MMA for Marks, that fucking hella 90s.
The amount of fucking hate comments we'd get on that. Like, you guys are fucking corny.
Bro, no, the amount of hate comments, the amount of love comments we get from people from the 90s. I don't know if there's actually like a YouTube channel where they take like intro shows of like modern shows like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, and they literally make it like it's a 90s intro, and it's the fucking best. Anyway, welcome back. Welcome back, MMA for Marks, your fans, whoever's out there, whoever's listening. We're coming with you another week. We've been out. I've been having some weather difficulties coming my way over here in California. You guys may have heard all the snow, flooding, weather. But, my sister called it different levels of Jumanji we're experiencing. So
levels of Jumanji.
Just depends on where you're at on the board, and how many shoes your father makes. So, but we're here, and we got a lot to talk about. We got UFC 286. Huge this past weekend. Pretty much a changing of the guard happened. We got some news to talk about, some spicy things going on. Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, as always, somehow Tough is still alive. And we're going to talk about Dana White's slap league getting demoted like hella far down. Make sure to always cover that. I want to cover the ridiculousness of it being a thing, and also the inevitable failing and falling of the entire fucking thing on its face. So that definitely want to make sure everyone's aware of. So we got a pretty good show. How you doing over there, buddy?
I'm all right, bro. I'm all right. It's good to be back in the saddle with you once again. Always doing my anime podcast over there at Talk to Kiki on the same network, W2M network. Thank you so much. Shout out to my boy Matt. I'm all right though, all things considered. It's been a pretty productive week. Been a fun month as a whole. So no complaints from me, governor.
Certainly none that you would like to talk about.
Sure. That's a fair fucking assessment too. Yeah. Likewise for you, good sir.
Likewise. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know I always say that. I was like, I could complain, but I don't want to.
I complain. I endorse complaining because I'm the first person to fucking be a bitch and complain. So
you do complain.
By all means.
You are a little bit of a complainer, but that's okay.
I'm equal opportunity complainer. If you like to complain to me, I'm all ears.
I do complain, and I will complain. I am a complainer as well.
Yeah, once in a while you'll call me just to complain about something, and I'm
that's
like,
true.
I'm there.
That's true. Sometimes, you are there. You're a good listener of complaints. You should be a professional complaint taker. You know what I mean?
That would mean I have to work for like Spectrum or something. I don't want to do that.
No, just work for yourself. Be like an independent complaint taker.
Can you imagine like stupid
for anybody, bro?
Complaints?
You just like set up a number and a site, and people just call for any. They'd be like, "Dude, my tire went out."
Dude, you want to know something? I do this on a
bitch.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you
everything.
I'm gonna tell you a personal story involving a friend of mine who shall not be named. Right?
Okay.
She complains to me every fucking day. She works a nice job as an underwriter, medical.
Wait, hold on. Let's do this. I'll play her, okay? And I'll play you, and you play her, and you tell me. All right.
Okay, this is how our conversations normally go.
Oh my God. Hi, Ethan. Hi.
No, it's not like that.
Hi.
No, her job, like literally, we'll be sitting there, and she'll be like, "My life is so hard.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm like, yeah, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like I'm in all these meetings and I don't want to be in meetings. I just
Wow,
want to,
that's crazy.
like live, and I want to
Wow.
just be a housewife.
You
Why
should
can't I
watch
just be a
anime.
housewife?
You should watch anime. Have you ever watched anime podcasts? Do you like anime podcasts?
I love One Piece. No, I'm just kidding. She's not like that. No, the conversations aren't like that at all. But bro, she complains to me so much about how like her life is so hard, but she has a nice job.
You should shut your mouth and just be a woman, and you should just be happy with what you should have. You should just stop complaining. And if you just lost some weight and
she's a good looking woman, bro. She's a good looking Asian woman with a nice husband that fucking does all this, like does.
I'm being
everything
you
for her.
though. I'm being you. I'm trying to,
No, if she was like fat as shit, then maybe I'd say some shit like that. But, be like,
there we go.
Like, I don't understand. Why doesn't my boyfriend love me? I mean, you look like a fucking gorilla, so maybe.
If you would just stop being yourself, and if you would just like work on a bunch of shit, then maybe somebody would like you. So
the amount of times people have told me that when I've like complained about some shit like that, like I don't understand why I keep getting fat bitches. And like, well, if you work on yourself, you won't get fat bitches. So I worked on myself, and guess what? I still get fucking fat bitches that like my shit.
It's who you are inside.
I know.
You're attracted.
No one ever
man. You like what you like. No one judges you for it anymore. A long time ago, you used to be like a weirdo. You'd be on the outside. Everyone talk about you. Now you're just another page on Pornhub. It's okay. We accept you.
Pornhub took down my fucking page. I had a video on Pornhub. It was great. 81 views, 100% likes on a backshot video.
Okay.
They took it down because of all the fucking 2020 child scandal that happened. And I was an unverified account, and I wasn't gonna like stick my credit card in there to be verified because then it's a little too much for me. So I was like, all right.
So UFC 286 was fucking big.
Great segue. Great segue.
Oh, fucking dude. Leon Edwards and
We're back, baby.
Number 3, bro.
Andy is dying right now.
Fuck, dude. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. So you actually have a video, or it got taken down because you're not, because we have to.
It's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. It's not there anymore.
So you got taken down in some kind of fucking. Well, you explain it, please, because I heard something.
No, they took it down because I was an unverified account, and it happened during like the whole 2020 like child scandal that happened on Pornhub, where they had.
I don't know what you're talking about. What happened?
So there's like in 2020 because of the Me Too movement and stuff, like they a bunch of like underage women or like or women that are now of age said that they either had underage porn or they had rape, like where like somebody put up a video of them like an unsolicited video of their sexual act. So a bunch of them got together and they sued Pornhub. And it was a big deal where MasterCard and Visa took that.
Okay. I do remember that.
Yeah. So what they did was they did a sweep across the entire Pornhub like thing, and any accounts that weren't like verified accounts, they just fucking shut their channels down like completely.
Right.
So yeah, my video got waxed. And I did get permission to post that video. Let me put that out there.
All right, good.
I did ask her, and we did agree to it.
Okay.
So
80 views.
81 views.
81 views.
Hey, with 100% likes.
All right. Well, you're competing with this podcast, so
Yeah, we get about 81 views a video, right? My dick going in a girl just as many views as us talking about MMA for an hour and a half. Okay.
I mean, we do get more than that now, but yeah, at one point we were getting
back in the day, I was killing the MMA for Mark's podcast with my cock.
Yeah, you had a secret cock video you never revealed the whole time. You were competing with us in the background. We didn't fucking know. Thanks for taking them down, Pornhub. We appreciate that. So okay, now that we got that out the way, let's fucking
Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman 3,
UFC 286, guys. It was a big weekend. There was a lot that happened this weekend. Let's jump right into the main, like Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3. That was just not what I expected at all. You know what I mean? I totally expected. I did expect Leon to come out a little more aggressive than he was you got to remember the first fight, he was very timid and was almost like a shell of himself a few times.
He had deep respect for
He had a lot of respect, but clearly the head kick, you know,
you would think it would maybe gas him up a little bit, but you know, that's smart though, to not just come in there like fucking chin up, like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking head kick you again, because then that's how you get caught. Because Usman,
right?
You know,
I mean, I don't think
bro,
anyone thought he was gonna head kick him again like that, but what surprised me the most, what stood out to me the most was the takedown defense. Clearly he had worked on it more. And I mean, I don't know if it was just a belief thing, or like I said something to you before when we were off air. It's like, you know, it was almost like he fought with all of the skills and abilities that he has, but he's never really like, I've never really seen Leon Edwards have a fight where all of it is like being like output. In that fight, he was like Super Saiyan mode. I mean, he literally was like fighting to the ability of what I've always thought he could fight at. You know what I mean? But I've always felt like he's held himself back. Always felt like he's been a lot more measured in fights than what he's actually capable of. You actually kind of see it in his brother. His brother's a little more carefree in how he fights. But his brother fights very similarly in Bellator. But yeah, it was interesting. It was awesome to see him doing that, and especially to see Usman. I mean, giving it his all. It wasn't like Usman was slacking. You know what I mean? He definitely was giving it to him very similar like he was in the first fight. I thought Usman honestly didn't change much about how he fought, how he approached the fight, which was weird to me. Maybe Trevor Whitman was just ready to see him lose, but yeah. You know, Rocky, just the game plan overall. Yeah, you know, he made that one mistake where he held onto the fence, and I gotta say, I fucking love how they just took the point. I mean, that's just how it needs to be. They did that last weekend too, and even if it's like a 1 second, like fuck the warning, it made a big enough impact on that fight because Usman could have got him down at that point. And who knows what could have happened. I don't think much would have happened. I think Rocky would have just got back up personally, but you know, it definitely had an impact on the fight. So I like that the point got taken.
No, I agree too. It was a major piece, especially given how close that fight was, especially round 2. And I was trying to tell you that off air before we got on, and you told me to save it. But, you know, as I scored the fight 48-46 for Rocky. I agree with your point that I don't think he lost a round in the fight, except for the one where he got the point taken away. That was also Usman's best round that coincided with that as well.
Exactly.
But round 2 was really, really close. I truly debated on whether I would give it to Rocky or I would give it to Usman, because like I was telling Angel in our chat, you know, it was a very weird fight because I'm the person that always preaches pressure, octagon control, and for the majority of that fight, I would say that even though it was a Rocky fight, it was a Leon fight, Usman is the one that dictated the pace. He was always putting forward pressure, always in control, was doing basically kind of what he wanted to do, but at the same time, Leon was in control himself. He was countering, he was catching him when he was coming in first. So it's a very odd dynamic from that perspective. In round 2 in particular, it was the same thing where Usman was clearly more aggressive, was landing shots, was going for the takedown, managed to get the takedown, but to Angel's point, he didn't do much with the takedown, and then he did get a vicious knee early in the round that wobbled him a little bit. And then there were clear shots, and that's really one of the stories of the fight as well, that despite the fact that Usman was the more busy fighter, he was the more proactive fighter in terms of coming forward. Rocky had the clear shots, the more significant strikes that were landed. Usman truly didn't land very many significant strikes that caused any type of disruption to Leon's game plan, or anything in terms of the dictation of the fight. And that was the difference, I think, at the end of the day, is that Leon landed a lot of shots that did a lot to determine the fight when it's all said and done. And so he came in there, as you mentioned, he came in there with, even though he was very measured in his way, and you expected him to kind of come in, at least initially, kind of guns blazing because of that confidence, because of the fact he came in measured, I felt that you would think, right, this is his first world title fight. The pressure of the world is on him. He's in his home country, fighting in front of his home country's people. You would think that would add a lot of pressure and stress and the magnitude of the moment to that fight, but he used that as something to galvanize him, and he was able to push forward and continue his game plan throughout the fight. And I would definitely say that the crowd, the environment was 100% in Leon's favor. Obviously it was, but in terms of how it affected the fight, 100%. It's like it was literally like Leon and the country of England versus Usman.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure Usman felt that too.
Yeah, and that matters. That truly matters, So,
what's interesting? What? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I thoroughly enjoyed the fight because of the atmosphere, and again, 100%. I feel that atmosphere contributed significantly to Leon's victory, because I wonder if this was done in the USA, how would the scores look from that perspective? How would the fight, in terms of the sways that happened, from each moment, if there would have been less or more, or how they would have, been in that particular moment. So, I don't know. This is the little nuances that make you wonder. But as far as I was concerned, it was a very clear-cut fight for the most part, with the exception of that round, which is crazy because of the point deduction. If you would give Usman round 2, which is a fair thing to do, a lot of people did give him round 2, and that would have been a fair give. If you did that, now you have a tie. And Leon would retain on a tie, but still, it changes everything significantly because of that. So,
and it's interesting too. I don't disagree with you. While you were talking, I kind of was like looking through some stats, and I mean, Usman did get a takedown in every round, but one. So yeah. I mean, he literally got a takedown in every round but one.
I saw a stat from Luke Thomas that was
he didn't do anything with it, right? You know what I mean? Like,
something that's very telling is the stat. I saw the stat from Luke Thomas's Twitter in the first fight that they had, right, which is a 3-round fight. I believe Usman had, it was like 8 of like 13 for takedowns, right? In the second fight, he was 5 of 14 on takedowns. And on the third fight, he was 4 of 15 for takedowns. If you look at the stat, 4 of 15. So there's an increasing level of improvement based off of the rounds that they fought, as well as the work that was put in the gym in order to avoid that. And even though he got taken down those 4 times, he really didn't do a hell of a lot. There was one that I think might have been like the one in the second round, or it was either the second round or the third round, where he got a hook in, he had his back, got the hook in, and he was going for the rear naked, but because of the positioning, and by that time they were probably slippery as well. Leon was able to use the fence in order to get up. Eventually, he ate some shots on the way up as well. He had him cornered. I believe that was the one in the second round, or third round. No, it was the third round, definitely third round, because he had him cornered. He was eating some shots. Rocky covered up. He was eating some fists to the hand, but eventually he was able to reverse position and then break away. So that was the most significant piece of that, I guess, grappling exchange in the fight. But regardless, it's still a progressive improvement from Rocky. The more he has fought and the more tape he's seen, and the more he's got more rounds of experience inside the octagon with Usman. So
right. Yeah. Just crazy. Like I said, it's just like a passing of the guard. And it's weird because it's not even like a passing of the guard, because Leon is, I mean, I guess maybe he's in his prime, but I wouldn't, he's definitely not like at the beginning of his career. You know what I mean? He's definitely coming into the belt a little later than probably he thought.
But for welterweight, he's still in his prime. He's only 31. You know what I mean? Like, he's still considered in his prime.
For sure. Yeah.
I saw another stat which is very interesting, and I should have read more on it. Like, there was a whole thread on it on Twitter. Fun fact, here's a trivia question. Do you want to know, between flyweight and welterweight, the amount what the title fight record is for fighters that are 35 years of age or older?
No, I don't know what it is. There's no way I'd guess it.
2-25.
Yeah, that's insane.
That was like,
that's a lot.
What? And it shows in terms of
Well, it tells you fighting is a young man's game. I mean, it's just
well, like I said, the key was flyweight to welterweight. As you get
Yeah.
heavier, I don't think that really matters at the end of the day. But it for at least for the lighter weights, it tells you it is a younger man's game, and you have a certain period of dominance in which to apply yourself and to kind of gain your opportunities, because by that point you begin to slip. So I thought that was very interesting, and it was very telling from that. And I believe that did include Usman's loss as well in this time around.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah. It's just like I said, it's just nuts to see Usman. I don't know what he does now.
I mean, he's not going to fall far from the rankings. He said he wants to get back on the saddle.
Back on the saddle to do what though? You're not fighting Leon again. I mean, that's fucking 3 of them, dude. You know,
and he can hope Colby wins. He can face Colby after Leon gets a rematch, unless Leon just gets absolutely fucking waxed. Then that wouldn't happen. Khamzat's going to be taking out the rankings as I'm looking at it now. Khamzat's going to be taking out the rankings.
I don't know if Colby beats Leon. Colby's not going to fight Usman. He's not going to give him a title shot, and I don't even think the UFC will do it. They might do it after Colby defends a title or two. You know what
Colby
I mean?
wants that revenge. Colby was put out by Usman, so you don't think Colby wants to fucking avenge his W on a supposedly weakened Usman?
Nah, I don't think he really gives a fuck about revenge. His career is just about numbers and output. Whatever fight.
I'm very curious. You think
if Colby money is what he's going to do?
If Colby wins the fight or wins the belt, do you see him ducking some of the stronger opponents?
For sure, 100%. Like, that's why I'm saying he ain't gonna. He's not gonna tell. He's not gonna be like, "Hey, guy who beat me twice for the title, come fight me for the title." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you?
If you care about it, if you have any sort of fighting pride. But...
No, but if you were the champion, if you were the title, and this guy beat you a couple years ago twice, broke your fucking jaw the first time, and then just embarrassed you, broke your jaw the second time, embarrassed you both times. You're telling me right now in your heart of hearts, like being honest, you'd be like, yeah, let me fight that guy. No problem. You know what I mean? Like, don't you think you'd be looking for other guys who you haven't fought, or definitely guys you think you do better against? You'd be like,
see, so there's always the different things. So it's like, if you have any sort of fighting pride, you say yes. Realistically, being smart and being cognizant of that, probably not. But
fighting pride is
listen,
one
the key
thing,
is the
paychecks are a whole nother.
There's two keys. There's two keys to this. There's Colby's bravado, which is astronomically high. Colby's bravado is more than it's damn near as close as his ego. Pretty fucking high, right? And then the second key is how Usman's going to look when he comes back. Is he going to look like a fucking killer?
Right.
Or is this the beginning of the end? Is he going to
start?
Is this now
dosing his meds so he slows down? And,
now is this the downward trend? Because if
Trevor Whitman
if he's on a downward trend where he's eating shots or he's barely winning, you can see Colby saying like, "Yeah, now I can get him," because now
it's not Pat Barry, it's Trevor Whitman. He's literally like Annie from Misery. For fucking MMA fighters, dude. He's literally like Kathy Bates from fucking Misery. He's all like happy they're losing. He's like injecting them with fucking shit.
He wasn't smiling that much during the fight. And that's something else I commented in the chat.
Well, of course not. Of course it's a big fucking joke. We're all joking. It's a big joke.
No, but I wanted to shout out the corner work from both guys was fucking amazing. I loved listening into the corners during this fight.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I loved it. I love Leon's corner. His trainer, fucking great. I love.
Did you hear what Whitman said the 5th round? He goes, "All right, Marty. Okay, go out there. If you lose this, I'm gonna give him a big fucking hug." So
fucking ridiculous. I'm pat him on the butt too with a little squeeze at the end.
Squeeze.
Oh, you're not as muscular as Marty here. Shit.
Whitman's just trying to play to the crowd, bro. He's just a fucking
dude.
We're all like, yeah, he's the best MMA coach of all time. Like, time goes by, they're like, that guy is fucking insane.
Who is the best?
No idea how he got a gym.
That's a good question that we would struggle to think of. Who is the best MMA coach of all time?
Anderson Silva's trainer.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Say who's produced a better fighter.
The only thing I could think, I
mean,
think,
you want to talk about like guys who have the most champions or whatever. I guess I'm sure we could find that guy. But
yeah,
I'm saying,
that's what I was leading to. I was like, in
think
terms of the
about-
guys with the most successful amount of fighters, I was going to say Mike Brown.
Nah, dude. You'd be hard to argue against Winkleman and fucking what's his face?
Jackson.
Be hard to argue against
Jack
him.
Wink.
Be hard to argue
but
against
then,
him.
then you're going on combos. You got
Javier Mendez, and them.
But then also
this point,
Sarah
you know
Longo.
Not nearly as much accomplishment.
You're right. Not as high of a level as Wink.
They're breaking into it now, though. If they like Faviz, all these guys, they keep going with him. Yeah, they'll get. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I feel like that. You know, that's a part of like Aljo and those guys doing early work and getting their gym to be popular, and along with having Matt Serra. You know what I mean? And then like they've been attracting guys coming in, kind of like how Alpha Male did. You know what I mean? But like Whitman, Jackson, Winkleman, Javier Mendez.
Yeah,
these guys
have been starting
killers.
I still want to say Mike Brown.
How about what's his face? He retired after Chuck lost the last fight, but Chuck Liddell's fucking coach, dude. Chuck Liddell's coach was, bro, he was producing dude, he trained Glover, Chuck Liddell, fucking Mike Swick. I mean, dude, there was a bunch of guys. He was like the Lion's Den of MMA back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good thought. I don't know. That's a good question. We should like have that up for like polls. Who's the best like MMA coach today? Yeah. I gotta say it's Javier Mendez right now, honestly, now that we're talking about it.
Fedor's coach? Has he had the same coach or has he switched?
I'm sure he switched, but his original coach back in Pride, that put him up against Anderson Silva's coach. Then that'd be, but that's what's interesting is like you like it's like a guy like Anderson Silva's coach you don't even really know who he is. Like you don't know.
No,
you know what I mean? Like I can't remember his name right now. I don't even know I know he's over at Shoot the Box, but I don't even know like
By the way, Anderson Silva at the Hall of Fame, well deserved. Congratulations to the Spider.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that for sure.
That was obvious, but hey.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, hey, let's move on to the next fight. We're still on the card. But,
wait, do you want to talk about your Colby thoughts? Since we're on Colby, and this is the next fight for Usman, more likely.
Yeah, that's right. What's next for Leon? That's what because I was
saying. So I said this on the tournament. I said this in the chat. I want a tournament because Leon doesn't want to fight Colby. Colby, even though
that's a great idea, though. I love it.
You and I don't think he deserves a title shot. Most people don't think.
Well, you don't think he deserves a title shot. I don't know.
Most people don't. And I'm of that variety. I believe that, and this is what I'm gonna expound on it since you already know. I believe there should be a 3-fight tournament amongst the 4 guys, right? You should be putting Colby against fucking Bilal, and then you need Gilbert and fucking and Masvidal, right? Burns and Masvidal. Winners of those 2 fights, right, face each other in a final, basically. Winner gets the title shot. Right, as long as the fight isn't a complete and utter domination in terms of that final fight between the 2 winners, the person that loses that fight should be next if the main event fight is convincing enough of a win for Leon. You know what I mean? And then that's how you just built up 2 to 3 contenders because it depends on how each guy looks. Like for example, Burns and Masvidal, if it's a 5-round war. Or it's a 3-round fight, right? It's a 3-round fight. So if it's a 3-round war, you may be more inclined to fucking give the loser of that fight a better opportunity than if Colby fucking dominates Bilal or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, this is how you create contenders, natural contenders, right? And at the end of the day, there's that piece. The other piece that I think Ariel Press probably mentioned, it's easy to fucking give it to fucking Masvidal just because of the history that's there in terms of 2-piece and a soda. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. What has Masvidal done to get it, though? You know what? That's
the key.
See, and that's my thing. That's my argument. I hear what everybody's saying about Kobe, but if the answer is to give it to Masvidal, then your fucking logic is super flawed. It doesn't make. But
it's similar logic to what you're giving it to straight to Kobe. Kobe hasn't done anything in a year.
That's what I'm saying. And
you're saying Kobe's a draw.
Complaining about Kobe getting it.
You're saying Kobe's a draw.
They're saying give it to Masvidal. That makes more sense. Just like. Well, if you give it to Masvidal, it's the same fucking logic as giving it to Kobe.
Yeah, because I mean, it's the same thing. Even though Kobe hasn't fought in a
honestly,
year, you know, you have like to quote unquote draw. And
Look.
I can understand that from the perspective of fans knowing who the fighters are, but Masvidal is right up there with Colby in terms of that fighter popularity in one way or the other. So it's a flawed logic. I 100% agree, but I think it's a better idea to give it to Masvidal if you're just going to give it straight up to somebody than to give it to Colby. Then again, if Masvidal beats Burns, now he's done something on top of having the draw power, on top of having the history with Edwards, with the 3-piece and a soda. Now you've built up something that makes a lot more logical sense than just flat out giving it to Colby because he's the number one contender and he took Usman. Even though he lost both times pretty convincingly, he still gave him some trouble. So that's basically what you're giving it on. You're giving Colby the title shot based off of his drawing popularity, which isn't that extreme in the grand scheme of things if you really look at the numbers. And you're looking at the fact that he gave Usman a little bit more trouble than I think Edwards did. Obviously, Edwards won, but I mean, based off of, you know, the circumstance, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
my tournament idea is the best idea, but Dana White, as we know, hates tournaments. He doesn't
doesn't
appreciate logic. So we're not going to get that. So
yeah, the tournament idea is great, but that's not going anywhere outside of this podcast. So, yeah, no, I don't know. You know, my thoughts on Kobe is it falls in line with everything else the UFC has done. Bring in Jon Jones, fight for the heavyweight belt, even though he's never fought a heavyweight.
Jon Jones is a GOAT. He's a GOAT. Even if you don't think he's the GOAT,
it doesn't matter if he's a GOAT. It's just what they're doing. It's the same logic. He hasn't done shit in 4 years.
And he came in and waxed the guy in 27 seconds.
And Kobe could probably come in and wax Leon. Let's be honest. So, I mean,
I don't know about waxing him,
but he could if he did, is my point. It's not about if he would or if he can or if he can, you know, it's about if he did. You know what I mean? It'd be the same principle. It's the same logic. And it's the same thing of like giving Islam or giving giving Volkanovski the title shot and then making Islam fight, defend him against a guy who's not even in the thing. The UFC is clearly by the last like fucking 10, 15 years of making fights, not interested in honoring the ranking system, not interested in giving the guys who should probably get the next title shot the title shot. Yeah. So can we dispense with the fucking bullshit of like, this is what it should be, and this is like what Dana White should do? Let's go with what he's probably going to do, and that's going with Kobe. He's probably going to go with Kobe because he sells.
You can't discuss the title rankings though, because of the fact that that's
sure you can. I just explained how the UFC has done it for the last 15 years. They don't give a fuck about rankings.
They don't. I agree.
They don't.
I'm saying that you can't dispense it, even if it's an arbitrary ranking system. It still has to be present in some capacity because that's just the natural fight.
What are you talking about? Who can't?
You can't just get rid of fighter rankings. That, you know, how
much no one's saying get rid of them, but you're saying that they can't just ignore them. And I'm telling you, and everyone else,
I know, I agree with you that they do ignore them, but at the same time, I think if you do dispense of them, that causes so much chaos because
that's why it is chaos.
But it's less chaos. It would be exponentially more chaos if there's no rankings whatsoever. It would be fucking madness.
No, honestly, it'd probably be better because it wouldn't be as confusing. People wouldn't be like, why the fuck is he? Why am I? Like, there wouldn't be any of that. It would just be like, oh, well, here's the next guy or whatever. Like, honestly, it'd probably be better. Like, the ranking systems are so atrocious that they just make no. First off, that's the other thing. One of the reasons they don't pay attention to them is because their own rankings are bullshit. I mean, they just are. They're just not that great. And then second, if they have to hold themselves to the ranking system, then that means they have to give guys like fucking I mean, bro, we can go through the list of guys who should have got title shots versus the guys who have gotten title shots.
Darius is the biggest.
Fucking Gegard Mousasi.
Yeah.
I mean, just go through the fucking list of dudes who should have got the title shot and they didn't get the title shot. So that's my point is I hear you guys. I hear all y'all marks. I hear all the fans. I hear everyone saying, hey, fucking Kobe shouldn't get it and all this rah, rah, rah. He's going to get it. Okay. Connor's also fighting. I mean, dude, he's going to. It's just, that's what they fucking do. If you want fucking rankings and people to stick to this shit, go to one. I don't know. Like, that's just what they're going to do. They're not going to give a fuck about a Rachmaninoff. They're not going to give a fuck about, about it.
Yeah.
The two big names are Masvidal and Covington.
Yeah.
And Masvidal sells. I don't know if they're thinking, let's throw Covington in here while he's still got some gas. Leon probably maybe beats him, and then they got another shot with Masvidal. I don't know. But I would like to see Covington fight, like Usman or somebody. It's too bad they already fought a couple times, because then you could have them actually fight for a contender shot. But
I mean, the only Usman,
like
you said, Usman's stuck because the rest of the guys are booked. Even with Bilal. Bilal is really the only guy that's kind of not booked. But we said, I believe it was mentioned in the post fight that Dana White said he was working on him and Rachmanov, and that'll be a huge fight for Rachmanov, and that'll be a huge test for Bilal. So I mean,
that's so shitty for Bilal, because Bilal's been through so many tests already, and he's just like, fuck, I gotta fight another kid. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why Bilal's pissed. I don't agree with him. Calling out white privilege. It might be Dana White privilege now. He might be onto something there. Yeah. It might be Dana White privilege. Yeah. But I think a lot of it has to do with the draw. And
Bilal's mostly a boring fight.
His last fight draw, dude.
His last fight was his most exciting fight that he's ever had, for sure.
Well, and he's just not a name that anybody outside of listens to this podcast and follows the other fucking little MMA things even knows.
Which is ironic. His nickname is Bilal. Remember the name, Muhammad. That's why
I always say.
And how many people really remember Bilal's name? Like you said, outside of fight fans,
nobody.
You ask
that's one of the craziest things.
Jon Jones? Yeah. Conor McGregor? Yeah. Bilal Muhammad?
Yeah.
Is he Iraqi?
It's crazy. Because like you said, Jon Jones, Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva, maybe. Yeah. There's a 50-50 chance that person might know who that is. Yeah. Now, they know the other two guys because they're so much more popular, but they don't even know the most legendary guy in all of the fucking sport. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that is like, in all sports, it's like this, right? You have your top guys who are known, and then you have the 98% of the sport that fans just drop off and don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? And in MMA, it's even steeper. It's way steeper.
You could go with so many names, and it's like they'll never it's not Jon Jones, it's not Conor McGregor, it's not Ronda Rousey. Hey, do you know who Ken Shamrock is? Hey, you know who Royce Gracie is? Right. You know Randy Couture is?
Like we're saying, like some of these contemporary guys, like Bilal, you might know who Conor is. You might know who John. You never heard of Bilal Muhammad. You just simply never heard of him. You've never heard of him.
Have you heard of Georges St. Pierre? Oh, right. You have? Oh, have you heard of
right. Dude. But then there's some people who don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Because time has passed. You know, that's the other thing too.
I saw something from a wrestling perspective which drove me mad. Andy Kaufman.
I saw that. I was wondering.
Andy Kaufman is.
I almost asked the group, like, "Hey, how do you guys feel about this?"
So he's getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
I like it, dude.
I saw on Twitter, who the fuck is this geek? If you know anything about wrestling, period, because it's historical wrestling, Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman. That makes
me feel. God.
Some fucking loser, pencil neck fucking geek is like, who the fuck is this geek? Motherfucker, you're the fucking geek for not knowing who the fuck Andy Kaufman is.
Oh, bro.
I don't know. Listen, I'll be honest. I don't know very much of his comedic career. I just know that he was a very popular comedian in the 70s and early 80s. But I do know Andy Kaufman because of fucking wrestling. And I knew about him because of the fact that I wanted to go back and learn about wrestling history and how pertinent he is to the idea of celebrities in professional wrestling. He is paramount
to that, bro. Not just that. He's paramount to like the shtick.
Yeah.
Like he literally like died.
Yeah.
Doing his shtick.
Yeah, he died doing his shtick. He died not. Listen to this.
He didn't even tell anyone, bro. He didn't even tell anybody. Like he was sick.
He didn't tell
crazy his life.
He never told his parents that what happened with him and Jerry Lawler was
fake.
Staged.
Right.
He never did. The only way they found out is when Jerry Lawler wrote in his autobiography that it was staged, and somebody told them that.
But bro, not only did his parents not know, like fucking 75% of the people who watched that didn't know.
No, nobody knew.
They all found out when Jerry Lawler said that shit.
When Jerry Lawler quote unquote broke his neck, it was like a slight bruise. They took him to the hospital. And this is the story. They took him to the hospital, and they're like, "I need an ambulance." And they're like, dude, an ambulance is $250, which in 1981, $250 is
just a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of
like
money.
$1,500 today.
Yeah, and Andy Kaufman's like, I don't care. I want to pay for the ambulance. Get me an ambulance. So they get him an ambulance. They go to the hospital. Officially, he's got like a slight like contusion, right? Like it's gonna be a little sore, but he's all right. He stayed in the hospital for 3 days and wore the neck brace consistently for over 6 months. He wanted to wear he went to a shoot, like a couple months later, he went to like a movie shoot. He wanted to wear the neck brace at the shoot. And only when the director said, if you don't take that fucking neck brace off, I'm kicking you out of this movie and we're replacing you, did he take the fucking the neck brace off for the film. That's how committed he was to that shit. And on top of being, like I said, a legendary comedian and an actor in that time period. And you want, who the fuck is Andy Kaufman? Bitch.
No respect. You know what I mean? These kids these days. Well, hey, bro, but it's like, look, I'm like talking to one of my good buddies Tanner, and we talk all the time, and sometimes he's a little younger than me by, I don't know, I think like 10 years or something like that. Yeah. And he's, sometimes I'll be like, I forget even what I was saying, but I was referencing something from the 90s the other day, or from the 80s, maybe it was, you know what I mean? Like one of those things that were well known from the 80s in the 90s.
Yeah.
And, he just was like, I never heard of that. I'm like,
you hit me with a lot of references that I don't know, but I'm not a movie person. I'm not like huge.
I'm a very reference heavy.
Yeah, I'm
person.
Not very
like I make a lot lot of references when I talk. Yeah. So
I'll chuckle along with them, but in my head, I'm like,
yeah, I do that too sometimes for you. So thanks.
All right. Anyway, let's move on to the rest of the card.
Yeah, let's keep it
40 minutes in. We talk about one fight and
I know, bro. I was just thinking the same shit. So Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev.
Potential fight of the year.
Dude.
Potential fight of the year.
I mean, I didn't think that, honestly. I read that. And when I watched it, I didn't think that matched up with the heroism. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, dude? And all the time.
Now we have Radulich has his pot, and that might be a comment for him. If it's not, what's up, Tanner?
No,
but
that's Tanner. That's my.
No, I know, but no, I'm saying Radulich.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Radulich has a pod going on simultaneously, and he's live. So remember how the comments may get mixed in.
Well, we'll soak up his comments too, bro. We'll respond to everything. If you put it on this, if it pops up on the page, I'm going to talk about it.
Fair enough. Anyway,
yeah. Like I said, I thought it was an amazing. I thought it was a great fight.
It was a great fight. Excellent fight.
Definitely fight of the night. Easily.
When I saw the picture, I thought that Fiziev got fucking just mauled, and I watched the fight, and he was in that fight the entire fucking time. When he started the third round, I was like, dude, he's gonna fucking win. When he started that third round, the way he started, I was like, dude, he's gonna actually fucking win. And then he slowed down, and then Gaethje just continuously pummeled him until he busted that fucking face up really bad. But I mean, at the end of the day, dude, freaking round one, it was 100% Fiziev. He was on his game. He was coming forward, tagging Gaethje. Gaethje didn't have his timing quite right. All that shit, dude. And round two came. He started off hot. Gaethje started countering him. Started doing really well with his timing. Started slowly piecing him up. But again, Fiziev was 100% in it. And if it was a tail of the fight, it was round one Fiziev, half of round two Fiziev, second half Gaethje, the beginning of round three Fiziev, and then the majority of the round with the damage included Gaethje, including a judge gave him a fucking 10-8 in that third round, which is pretty wild.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't think any round was 10-8 worthy.
No, I did not think that either. But a judge gave him a 10-8 in that round three, which is pretty wild. But anyway, no. So then that's something that's crazy. That 10-8 that's why it was a majority decision. That 10-8 tied it because they had Fiziev ahead 2 rounds to nothing. And then they gave him a 10-8 and they tied it. So that was a majority decision, not a unanimous decision.
I honestly thought it was going to be a split. I was kind of surprised that it was a unanimous decision. I mean, not surprised now, but watching it, I'm just like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? I bet you this.
I didn't think that. I thought it was a clear 29-28 Gaethje.
But I thought Gaethje won. I just thought the way the fight went and and you know how judges are. I just was like, watched him be a split.
His face doesn't tell the story. Fiziev, like I said, was in it 100% of the time. Gaethje, for all of his renowned power, Fiziev ate it, and he kept.
He wasn't throwing hammers though. You know, Gaethje,
he clipped him with some real shots.
Gaethje had a lot of control. He had a lot. I liked what he did. I think you know.
And Whitman told him that in round 1 when he was losing. He's like, "Listen, you're going too wide. Kind of compress yourself.
Yeah.
Go for the shorter shots." He started listening to him, and then he got his timing on top of that, and that's how he was able to start popping him with those shots. But again, Fiziev, to his credit, kept coming forward, kept hitting him. He tagged Gaethje, but he never tagged him anything of true consequence.
Whitman's giving Gaethje the good drugs. He's all just like, I'm not hugging this motherfucker, so fucking get out there. He's like, I'm not hugging this fucking dude. Okay, all right, get out there and beat his ass, Justin.
Yeah. I love Fiziev's comment after the fight. Did you see that? Where he's like, man, they talk about your punches. All your fucking punches are damaging. What the fuck?
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was great.
That was funny.
It's always great when another fighter acknowledges, like, God damn, this dude fucking hits. Yeah, I thought Gaethje won the fight, from start to finish. I really liked a couple things Fiziev was doing, though. There was this one little sneaky out of the clinch fucking right hook that he was pulling. Kind of almost like an uppercut, but it wasn't. And it was just this cool little fucking check hook that he just, as he would come out and break, and he was catching Gaethje with it on every time. He just didn't put any power behind it, or Gaethje just fucking has a brick for a chin. But he
definitely has a brick for a chin, dude. He
has a brick for a chin
and was not phased at all. Fiziev was not phased with some of the bricks that fucking Gaethje was hitting. But his face wore it. His face wore it.
Yeah, Gaethje's not as
that second fight was definitely. Or I'm sorry, not the second fight. That's that third round. The second half of that third round, Fiziev at that point started slowing down. The wear and tear.
Definitely started slowing down, but he was landing shots still.
He was still landing. He was still landing, but I mean, at the clip that Gaethje was hitting, it's a miracle, bro. It's a true miracle that Fiziev did not go down, because by the middle of that third round, Gaethje was landing at will. He was landing at will. Like, clearly someone ate their EPO Cheerios, someone didn't. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
Gaethje was definitely in command. Once the cardio went out there from Fiziev, I mean, like I said, he was still hitting. Gaethje has got that chin. I mean, his chin's not quite at the Die Hard level of battery commercial level yet. You know what I mean? But he is, his chin, he's like but he's a Budweiser. He's at a Budweiser commercial level chin. You know what I mean? Like when Chuck was the Budweiser king, you know what I mean? Like, no one can knock him out. You know what I mean? But then once he got to the Die Hard commercials, it was pretty much over. Which was hilarious, because he was representative for a battery, which was supposed to keep you going. However, his career kept going, so maybe should have went somewhere else.
But honestly, Fiziev, I don't think, and it's true, the rankings stayed the same. Nobody moved up or down in the rankings because of that fight. And truly, Fiziev, I don't think he lost anything in that fight. All things considered, he lost the fight, but he didn't really lose a hell of a lot. He showed up.
The fight he was supposed to lose, technically.
It was the fight he was supposed to lose. He came up, fucking was competitive. He hit Gaethje. Gaethje stood there. He ate Gaethje's shit, and his face wore it, but he never went down, always kept pressing forward. And he loses nothing truly in defeat because of that performance. He did not get waxed in any way, shape, or form. We knew it was going to be a tough fight coming in, but Fiziev really stepped up to the challenge, and he looks like a real contender. He, if he can get his shit straight in terms of in terms of eating less, and as well as perhaps like working a little bit more on the takedown. And granted, Justin Gaethje doesn't go for his wrestling, despite the fact that that was his initial pedigree. Perhaps things would have been different if he would have gotten on the ground with him. We don't know that, but
I think the ground definitely would have made a difference.
It would have made a difference. That's what sealed it. I think that's what sealed the 10-8 for that guy, is because Gaethje managed to get that takedown in the last round and hit him with a shot. So
yeah, he got the one takedown. But what's crazy is you look at the total strikes, dude. It's literally 106 to 97. Significant strikes is 103 to 97. So it's just.
And if you look at the discrepancies, the majority of Fiziev's were to the body. He kept hitting to the body.
Sense. See, this is where comp strike numbers don't fucking make sense, though. You're telling me out of 106 total strikes that Gaethje threw, which, by the way, he threw no fucking leg kicks. Of all the fucking
but not a lot.
I'll do a couple leg kicks, but
if you would have thrown more, he might have gotten Fiziev out there.
106 strikes, 103 significant strikes. So you're telling me Out of 106 total strikes, only 3 of them weren't significant.
Well, A, Gaethje has that type of power. B,
Hey,
he
how about
doesn't-
this? How about this? This is even more unbelievable. Faviz, 97 strikes total. Significant strikes, 97. Every single one of his strikes was significant.
because he was swinging. He was
Dude,
swinging.
No, my point
I
is
get
that
what you
it
mean,
doesn't
but you
make any sense. That
When
does-
you look at
know.
look at strikes and you look at the
significant strikes, what I'm trying to
strikes.
say is sometimes significant strikes are bullshit. They really are.
But you know what it is
Like,
when you think of
what's
striking,
considered
Bro, when you
significant.
think of striking, you think of probing
know?
shots. You think of the jabs. You think of like a soft jab. You think of a probing jab. You think
No,
of
I
a
don't.
probing. You think of a
No.
probing kick. Those are
No, I think of a
strikes.
fucking haymaker or an overhand
Those
right
are
or a
significant.
stiff jab
Those are significant.
or a you know what I mean?
Those
Like
are
that's significant.
Those are. Yeah, I agree. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just
Oh.
general strikes.
Oh, I'm
There
sorry.
was hardly any of that. There was not much probing from either guy. There was no shots to keep them
You're right.
away.
It was a lot of fucking all or nothing.
It was from both guys. It was all or nothing, and that's the key.
Yeah.
That's why you see that thing. There was not a lot of probing strikes. There was not a lot. Of
Don't defend these CompuStrike assholes, dude. You know that not all
I'm
of
just
those
telling
are
you the perspective
significant.
of why that appears that way.
Yeah, you're playing devil. I get it. Devil's avocado, as Michael Bisping likes to say.
Devil's avocado.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know what's next for Mr. Gaethje there.
What he mentioned, he wants that. He said he's going for one more run. He's not going to be around for much longer. Basically, his next loss, he's done. That's in essence the kind of pressure.
Which could
he's
be any fight. So that's why I'm saying I don't know what is next for him. It's not going to be the title.
So Connor,
Aziz, however,
Aziz
has got some work to do.
Chandler and McGregor are supposedly fighting. supposedly. So, and that's not even at 55. That's at 70. They agreed to a contract away to 70 because Connor can't make 55 anymore.
Yeah, and Connor wants a fucking title shot at 170 if he wins.
I mean, he's going to basically replace Chimaev because Chimaev is 185.
It's just it's so ridiculous.
Hey, but
you can't help but laugh.
If I'm Leon, Colby Covington, Conor McGregor.
It's so ridiculous.
If you're going off the Colby Covington Masvidal logic, Conor McGregor.
Oh, dude, Conor McGregor.
Simply for the money, the fact that they're both from the UK in some capacity.
Hold on. I just thought of something here. If Kobe actually does win, imagine Kobe versus Conor. Now
they're gonna fight before. I guarantee you they'll fight before the on a press conference or something.
No, bro. Both of them are so fake and committed to their shtick. They're both. Come on. They're both like fucking like you fucking pussy and all this shit. Like, and then they shake hands behind the stage. 100%, dude.
Someone's gonna say something someone's gonna say something that's gonna trigger. They're gonna trigger the other one.
You're crazy. Those two, bro.
If Jon Jones and GC can fucking fight before a press conference, I certainly believe Conor and bro. Even the shit that freaking Conor was saying to Floyd Mayweather that was borderline racial. He can go there.
But that's all talk. As far as like putting like them fighting before, like, dude, yeah. If Conor and Floyd didn't fight with all the shit they talked, Conor knows the deal, and Kobe definitely knows the deal. Like I said, bro, that guy. I don't believe anything of that guy's like what he sticks. I doubt that's his actual real life, like at all. And by all accounts, most of the people that talk about him say that. Now, Conor, people do say that Conor's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't think Conor's crazy to where like he's gonna ruin a business opportunity. Even to the point of like him fucking committing a terrorist attack against Khabib, which okay. So Gaethje, yeah. I like he might make another title run, but who knows? Faviz has definitely got some work to do. I keep saying Faviz, like he's got 2 fucking F's. It's Faziz.
It's Faziz, yeah.
It's Faziz.
Azerbaijan.
I mean,
he's got
Azerbaijan.
He doesn't have much to go. Chandler's busy. Dariush is busy with who's Dariush fighting again? Poirier, right? No, not Poirier. Poirier's fighting some other.
I was gonna say yes.
No, who the fuck is that? They just announced Dariush is gonna
Poirier
fight.
would never fight Dariush.
Is Dariush fighting?
Dariush?
Is Dariush fighting fucking Sarukian? Who's he fighting?
He's fighting. Nah, dude. He's fighting Oliveira, dude. He's fighting
Charlie right. It's right. Charlie Olives. That's
the
true number 1 contenders fighting the division. I mean, Faziz is just gonna get the leftovers. He'll probably end up going down fighting somebody like a Sarukian. That'll be a tough fight. That'll be a fun fight too. Him and Sarukian.
Go down.
Yeah, he's gonna have to defend his position and try and get some wins in that position in order to start to jump back up, depending on how the rest of the rankings shape up.
Then again, losing to Gaethje's not like losing a
He
fucking
lost
number one
nothing.
contendership or like
He lost
anything like
nothing.
that. So
He
yeah,
lost nothing in that fight. And Gaethje truly didn't gain anything given the position that the division is in. Nobody really gained or lost anything. That was just a fight for the fans. Entertaining fight, 100%. It's going to be talked about in terms of the match of the year. May not probably win match of the year, but it'll be in that contention. Did you see the stat that Angel posted about Gaethje's win bonus, the amount of bonuses he's won?
Yeah, dude, it's impressive. I mean, he makes that stat every time he gets a bonus. He makes a stat like every time he gets a bonus. It's fucking nuts.
It's nuts, dude. Like, and that's on top of his salary, which is at minimum 150. He's fought for like 200,000-300,000 for his like just his purses, his win and show, as well as just his pay-per-view points. Like, that man is a millionaire.
He's gonna need it when he's fucking drinking Jello out of a spoon. So, all right, let's move on. Let's move on. I mean, we all know that I'm correct. I love the way he fights, but good Lord, I mean, that guy. I hope he's got health insurance.
I would love to see a professional boxer that had like a lot of like, I don't know, like fucking like 60 fights, and then Justin Gaethje's brain. I want to see both their brains and see which brain is more mush.
I was gonna say, why you want to just scramble an egg? Okay, moving on. Welterweight bout. We got Gunnar Nelson versus Brian Barberena. This was,
I didn't expect it to go the way it did.
I didn't expect it to go the way it did either. And it was a big question for Gunnar Nelson because he's been out and he was a guy who was supposed to be a guy at one point.
Yeah.
And so
a guy was supposed to be a guy. You thought he was supposed to be a girl?
A guy, yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. He was a guy who was supposed to be one of the guys.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, who knows, whatever you want to be. But whatever he feels like today. But Gunnar Nelson was one of those guys, and then he kind of fell off, and got quiet. And I know he was helping out Gustafsson for a long time too.
Yeah. He was in the same camp.
They were in the same camp. And so he was kind of one of his main guys when Gustafsson was in the Jones fights and Cormier and all that stuff. So
and that was also that coincided with his peak with Gunner's peak.
Well, maybe, but yeah. So, coming out, for sure, we know that Gunnar more than likely has the grappling, but I think what actually happened was we all forgot. We literally had a RJJ
He doesn't do it that
moment.
often.
We literally had an RJJ moment, and we must have forgot because literally this is who Gunnar Nelson is. This is who he is. This is who he's always been. This is who he's always showed up to be.
Yeah.
And he's
gotten in good stand-up fights. He's lost in stand-up fights, but when he gets to the ground, that's his bread and butter.
Dude, yeah, he's lost his stand-up fights, but he's always improved. And to see him once he finally got, like you said, his bread and butter. Once he got on the ground, you knew things were he moved with the same
no slouch.
ferocity that he always has.
And Barberena's no slouch on the ground. He's not a fucking idiot.
Not at all. He's got subs. He's
subs.
Legit. But it's Gunnar Nelson. And like I said, we forgot. We must have forgot because it's Gunnar fucking Nelson. He's that good.
Yeah. Did not expect that the way it went down. He got that arm bar. Did you?
He went down. When he got the full mount, I was like, shit, dude.
Yeah,
this is working.
But I thought what's it called?
I felt bad for Barberena. I was like, oh, you thought you were fighting a dinosaur.
I knew the result coming into the fight, and I'm like, when is it gonna end? But then the way it ended, and I was like, oh, because you got the full mount.
I was confused. I thought Barberena actually won by sub. I didn't know that Gunnar Nelson won.
No, Gunnar won. Gunnar won by sub.
I thought it was Barberena who won. So I was confused watching it.
I looked at the time because it was like I think he got the full mount with like 20 something seconds to go, and then he managed to get the arm with around like I don't know, like 15 seconds, and he started cranking, and he got the tap at I believe 10 seconds left in the round.
Yeah,
Barberena was just fighting to survive. If he would have fought to survive, it would have been a completely different fight, perhaps. But I was thinking he was going to survive. He's just going to survive. But then Gunnar got the perfect armbar. Nelson on that bitch. Did you see the video?
He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He was going for that armbar from the beginning setup. Like when he first got full mount, when he went in, there was a couple times when he went in for the head and arm choke. He actually pretended like he was going to do an anaconda. And really what that was is in my opinion, grappling opinion.
No, it was an Americana.
He was Americana. He was literally just trying to get, Barberena to think about that right arm and to kind of forget about that left arm, which is what he really was going for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, like I said, this is what he's always been. I don't know why we're shocked. You know what I mean? But like, it's.
Did you see speaking of arm submissions? Did you see the video I sent you on Instagram?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I sent Andy a video, guys, of two. I don't know if they're Brazilian, but the two BJJ women. They're rolling. One of them gets a fucking gets a Kimura, fucking cranks it, and that's the same sound that her arm made.
Yeah. And
everyone's like, "Oh!" And the girl's arm is fucking dangling, looking like fucking Frank Mir, just fucking broke a fucking arm.
More like Jacare Souza tucking his arm in his belt.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Hey, bro, play with fire, get burned. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck around and find out. Yeah, you're right.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah, get the equation around. Yeah.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, no. Hey, that's jiu-jitsu. You know, it's just like guys who's like, man, he got knocked out cold. Be like, well, that's boxing. That's striking. Be like, yeah, when someone gets their shit snapped, it's like, well, that's jiu-jitsu. Yeah, that's just what happens.
Basically.
But all right, well, moving on. Next fight. We got Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill.
I did.
I know you didn't watch the fight. I watched the fight. It was a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. They threw over 300 strikes combined. They actually outthrew most of the other fights on the main card. Mm-hmm. So and it was some beautiful head work. It really was some beautiful head work by Casey O'Neill at the beginning, but Jennifer Maia was just too much. You know, she just was too much. She eventually caught her.
She's a perennial
quite a few times.
Yeah, she's a perennial fucking.
Both of them had shit takedowns. They both of them were like, it was a mess when it came to the takedown.
But isn't that O'Neill's thing anyway? Is takedowns?
No, it's more Maia's. I mean, she went for 4 and got none. So that's what I'm saying. Like fucking, you know, it was kind of a shit show when it came to the grappling. But as far as the striking is concerned, you know, it was pretty good. It was 151 to 137 total strikes. Jennifer Maia takes the unanimous decision.
O'Neill was undefeated. She also took her 0.
She took her first 0. So
0.
Yeah. You know, it was a good fight. It was a good match. You know, I don't know where Jennifer Maia goes. You know, this is one of those divisions where it's just like, you know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go fight Shevchenko? Yeah, good luck with that. You know,
well, neither fighter went up in ranking. I mean, who's ahead of Maia? Lauren Murphy, Chukagian, Andrade just lost. Blanchfield's on a roll. Santos, Ferro, Shevchenko. I mean, like you said, the division is kind of meh at this stage.
The division's totally tossed up because of what happened with Shevchenko.
Grasso won, yeah. I mean,
Maia's
next fight will be. I honestly can see Maia's next fight against someone like an Andrade. But haven't they fought?
Grasso.
They fought.
Or Grasso. I mean, honestly,
no, I don't think it's gonna be Grasso, dude. Valentina's gonna get the rematch against Grasso, and then if Grasso manages to be unbeatable, yeah, I think so.
100%. Is she getting the rematch?
Yeah, I think she will. I think she will. 100%. I think they'll do it in Mexico too.
She loses that fight
in Mexico. I don't know.
Valentina loses that fight in Mexico. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. I think you meant the opposite. I think you meant that Grasso loses in Mexico. I was like, nah, I don't know about that one.
5,300 foot of altitude. Okay, if you know about running or doing exercise,
I mean, there's plenty of mountains.
You know how much of a motherfucker that is, bro.
There's plenty of mountains in Europe.
No, there is, but she's not training at fucking 5,300 elevation, dude.
Yeah,
that's what Mexico City is.
Yeah,
Mexico City is very close to Denver, and I lived in Denver for 3 years, bro. I'm telling you right now, there is a difference.
Yeah,
even if you are an athlete, soldier, whatever.
I didn't even think about that because
there is a difference.
I'm traveling to Denver for one. I did not even think about the fact that
you're gonna literally be waking up in the middle of the night to chug water. I'm not kidding you. I'm literally not.
Especially if I get drunk with Angel. Oh God,
you guys will get drunk off of 4 or 5 beers. Like I'm telling you right now, too. Well,
I get drunk off of like 3-4 beers. So
then you'll get drunk off of 1.
They're strong IPAs. Yeah,
you'll get drunk off of
2 or 3.
Bro.
I'm gonna feel nice after like 2 or 3.
You'll be hammered off of 2 or 3. Like especially if you go to a microbrew up there. Yeah. But dude, I'm telling you, when you go up in elevation, it's
I've never been in a place of elevation like that.
It fucks with you. Like you can look it up. I remember it clearly. Like you like I tell you get drunk easier. Everything. Like you get exhausted easier. it just completely, like, I used to wake up for the first, like, probably couple, like, week or so when I moved to Colorado, wake up in the middle of the night and just be cotton mouth. Just have to go drink a bunch of fucking water, bro.
Weed?
No, this is before weed. This is in the army. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would just be like, literally, just no fucking, yeah, you got to just drink water. So that definitely, the elevation thing is real. So that's why I'm saying, Chef Chan, I don't know how much fucking experience she has fighting in elevation, but I don't know how much Grasso does either. Grasso may have never fought in Mexico City. I'm not sure.
No, Grasso has fought in Mexico City. She has fought in Mexico, fought on the Mexico card, and she trains in Mexico.
But does she train in Mexico City? Because Mexico City, that's what I'm saying. Mexico City is like this in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like one of their highest points. And then you got like Guadalajara and everything goes down. And so Mexico City, I'm just saying, like, the elevation there, it's world famous. So
Lobo Gym.
It's literally what basically dethroned Kane. It's what invented sea level Kane. You know what I mean? Like, literally.
Lobo Gym.
Damn, dude, Kane got fucked up on that fight.
She trains in Jalisco. She trains in Jalisco, which is that's a pretty fucking dangerous fucking town in Mexico, Jalisco. Altitude of Jalisco, Mexico.
I mean,
5,090 feet.
So she'll be good.
Yeah.
See,
average altitude of 1,550 meters, but ranges from 0 to 4,300 meters.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll be interesting. All right, moving on. Middleweight bout. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze.
Dolidze won. I think he won 29-28.
I don't know about all that.
I think he won. I think Dolidze won round 1. I think it was a close round 2, and I think Vettori won that. And I think it was a close round 3, and I think Dolidze won that. I think he won.
I only had Dolidze winning round 1, to be honest with you. I saw Vettori winning round 2 and 3.
It was close. It's not a robbery.
10-9. It was 10-9. Yeah.
No, but
it's not a robbery. Not a robbery at all.
I think it could have gone either way. And
I think if it would have,
I mean, it was a clear round 1. I think Vettori had a clear round 2 because he had a better round, stepped up, had cleaner shots in that round. And I think the same is true for Dolidze in round 3. I think his shots were more clear. I think one of the things that helped Vettori is the fact that his counter shots, he was very good at countering Dolidze. When Dolidze would come in, he'd catch him some shots. And it was a similar thing to what we had mentioned in the previous podcast with one of the other fights that I'm not recollecting at this stage, but where we talked about where you hit a counter, you have to reset. And that happened a lot with Vettori. Vettori would hit a counter, Dolidze would have to reset. But then when Dolidze would reset, he'd come forward, he'd catch him with a couple shots and push Vettori back. And then Vettori would have to come forward, he'll catch him with a counter, reset. Vettori might come in a little bit more, throw a couple more shots to get like the ooh or to get some sort of points, and then they're back centered again for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So it was very much back and forth fight from that perspective. It depends on how much you value the counter striking of Vettori in those instances. I thought Dolidze did more in terms of the front foot in order to get that, and that's why I had Dolidze winning 2-1.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're crazy. I like I said in the first round, I thought Dolidze came out good and was strong, but and I mean, like I said, I think you could argue that he won that round, but I also could. It was very close. That round was very close. Round 2,
round 1 was close. No, I didn't think round. I think round 1 was the clearest fight of clearest round of the fight, and I thought Dolidze won that. That was the clearest round.
Round 1 was not the clearest. No. Round 1, like you said, it was a Dolidze round. You could see it was a Dolidze round, but it wasn't it wasn't like so overwhelming that it was just like, you know.
Bro, hold on, Brandon. 10-9. Brandon, with the way the breeze just blew your flag, and in the top left corner, it looked like something like a baby arm, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I'm thinking it was like a little child, like fucking pulling your fucking flag.
It's actually Duke's tail, just fucking swabbing it while he walks.
Dude, I swear to God, I thought I saw a child's arm just like whoop, on your flag.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't, bro. You better tell me next time, okay?
That's what I did. I was like, wait. I was like, hold on. Random. What the fuck is that in your background?
You're like, hold on. You're about to get your head cut off. Stop real quick.
Dude, that's one of my biggest fears. Like, especially when I lived at my old house and we would record like super late at night, like 2 a.m. back in the day. Like, I would think like, oh man, somebody broke in without me knowing. I'm gonna get my fucking head sliced off in the middle of my podcast. Andy can't do shit because he's in California. He's gonna do call 911 in California.
Yeah.
You don't know any of my fucking friends or family like that. So it's like,
I'll probably call Dixie. I'll just be like, hey man, Ethan's in trouble.
Dixie's knocked the fuck out right now. He's in his like third sleep right now at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I leave my voicemail. I'll be like, hey man, when you get this, Ethan needs your help.
Ethan's dead. Here's the video evidence. He's dead.
Hey man, got your voicemail. So shit. You know, probably by the time you get this, Ethan probably won't have a head anymore. I thought about calling 911, but I didn't think it'd make a difference. You know, you guys are in Florida. So
yeah.
Anyway, just get to him when you can. Send me the mic back when you get a sec. You got like, the laptop looks like it's still working. You know, I mean, just go ahead and throw that in there too. You know. So anyway, all right, thanks, man. You know.
Oh my god.
Throw that mic in there, baby.
I will write my will next time. Like any podcast equipment goes to Andy.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, not the laptop.
Not the laptop though. Damn, that's what
I will.
That's what I need. Come on, bro. Give me.
I will 100%. 100%. I'm writing my will. Like if somebody gets my phone, please erase all my history immediately. I'm putting that in my fucking will.
That is absolutely the way to get your history fucking read and not erased.
Dude, I was, really random again, but I was telling a couple of my friends this when we were just hanging out. I was like, I have pictures in my phone that date back to 2014, and I keep all my text messages from anybody who's ever texted me. So you can clearly put a picture of my life between my text messages and my pictures from 2014 to today.
That's a lot of text messages. Why do you do that, bro?
Yeah, I have I think it's like 20 gigs or something. I think it's like 27 gigs of text messages or something.
What are you trying? Are you preparing a fucking defense or something, dude? Like Jesus.
Yeah, no G shit. Like you never know in today's world. So I keep fucking receipts. Like especially, bro. Like so, one of the chicks I used to fuck with,
Ethan's
right?
just like you never know, dude.
No,
you
straight up, bro. No, one of the chicks I used to fuck with.
I just gotta keep all my text messages.
Bro, one of the chicks
the FBI one day, man.
No, dude, one of the chicks I used to fuck with, right? She told one.
That's literally how you just came off just now,
dude. For real, like seriously, like no. One of the chicks I used to fuck with, she pulled some shit like, oh, like he came on to me and like he basically forced me to fuck her, like not like force like rape, but like I like was convincing her to fuck her. So I went in my fucking messages, I scrolled to fucking January, and I took a screenshot, and I was like, does that text message read like I forced her to fuck me? And like it was like she was like, oh, I want to fuck you. And I was like, are you sure? And she goes, yeah, let me know when to come over. Basically is what the fuck she said. It was the complete opposite of what the fuck she said. I keep my fucking receipts. If anybody ever talks shit about me in any capacity, in any shape or form, I keep
Ethan will get you.
Nobody gonna get me, motherfucker.
Nobody gonna get him. Hey, nobody gonna get him. Yeah, no, you keep those receipts, man. You keep them.
Keep the receipts, bro.
I don't. My texts get like auto erased, I believe. I don't know. I go back to check texts from like I used to keep all of them. I go back to check texts now, and it's just like, yeah, there's not even the ones from last week are there. So I don't know what's going on.
I use the search function a lot. I use the search function a lot. Just like
I use the search function too. Yeah,
my text messages.
Pretty sure all my text messages are just on the iCloud anyway. So
I think if you
probably do have a bunch of them.
I think if you type in the words dick, pussy, and cum on my fucking searches on my text, there's gotta be like over like 3,000, 4,000 mentions of dick, pussy, and cum in my fucking text messages.
It's probably more like a couple hundred mentioning of.
I'm gonna type it in right now.
Of pussy. It's probably actually more like a few hundred mentionings of pussy and more like thousands of mentioning of dick and cum.
No. All right, so bro, I typed in the word pussy. No, I can't scroll because there's so many like things. But I can't do that. But bro, I'm gonna do from far. I'm gonna do this from far. This is the word pussy. This is the pussy on my phone. This is the word pussy on my phone. Andy, look. Andy, look. For those who are watching on the podcast, Andy, look at this shit.
I see it.
The word pussy on my phone. I just scrolled. I got the word pussy on my phone to like 2000 and
that's just showing all the times a girl has called you a pussy.
Yeah, if you look at the beginning from 2014, there's a lot of dudes like, oh, that fucking pussy or you're a pussy. From 2014 on. Oh,
you're like all of them. They're just like, Ethan, you're such a pussy, you little pussy. You're like, I'll talk about pussy nonstop.
No, I mean lately, if you look at my phone from like the last few years, it's all women. It's all women, but I digress.
Yeah, it's all from like your boys. You fucking pussy. Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah. So anyway, well that wraps up the main card.
I did not watch
With
the
pussy
prelims.
talk there, and
The prelims once
yeah,
again,
you know,
from what you heard, I didn't watch.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't talk about what Marvin and Roman Dolidze. Dolidze's got a future in the division.
So
You know,
the key is Marvin. The key is Marvin.
I don't know what
And so
Marvin's gonna
Marvin
do.
is
You know, he's just
Marvin
not
is,
gonna touch the belt. If
yeah,
Marvin touches the belt, it'll be like Bisping touching the belt. It'll be like he gets like a late call, and
yeah,
because he's been like a company guy, they're gonna throw him a bone.
yeah. You know what I see? The only thing I can logically see is depending on the result of Pereira and Izzy. If Pereira wins, then Whitaker's next. But after that, I think the logical summation for this, given who they've basically fought each other, everybody's fought each other, is Dricus du Plessis. And Dricus du Plessis is requesting that title shot. But I think I said in the previous podcast that he's one win away. I think you give him Vettori, and there you go. And Andy's lost connection. Son of a bitch. And he's back in.
Shut us down. They tried to shut us down, but we're back.
No. Okay. Did you hear what I said?
Wow. There was two MMA for Marks there for a second.
Yeah. And now there's one.
What?
You. I said that given the fact that all the top fighters have more or less fought each other, there's only one other fighter that makes logical sense, and it's Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis is requesting the title shot. I've maintained that he's one win away from the title shot against a perennial contender. If it all depends on how Izzy and Pereira shapes up. If Pereira wins, Whitaker's next. If not, then I think the next logical choice is Vettori versus du Plessis in the number one contender fight. Assuming du Plessis can beat Vettori, then there you go. Du Plessis is next in line, no matter who the champion is.
I like that.
That's the only real place I think Vettori goes at this place. It's du Plessis.
I like that. Yeah, I agree. And then that'll be like Vettori's last shot. You know what I mean? If he can get over on du Plessis.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, if Pereira gets over Izzy, then Pereira's got the entire division. He's got Whitaker, Vettori, Cannonier. Costa won't be there anymore eventually. Du Plessis, Strickland, if Strickland can come up with a fucking win streak over some of these guys. You know, Blund Brunson, and then Dolidze.
Dude, has Vettori and Strickland fought?
Don't think so. I can't recall.
Bro, that would be a fight. That'd be a fucking good fight. Strickland and Vettori, they'd both talk shit. And like Vettori would actually force Strickland to fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? Like he would come after him
because he's good with pressure. He's gotten better with kicks, and that's something that we should mention as well. I sent you a video a while back of Vettori working on kicks in Thailand, and the kicks actually did matter.
We should definitely talk about that. Good Lord,
yeah, the kicks did matter.
He went full. What's his face? Who's the guy who fucking went over to Thailand? He did the same thing like 2-3 years ago, and now he's like a kicking machine.
I know he's
every time we watch him fight, me and you talk about it, we're like, bro, this fucking dude. I see his face. I can't.
What division do you recall? Who was it? It was a lighter division too. It was a lighter division. I'm trying to go through this shit. Jan went there.
No, it wasn't Jan.
It wasn't Jan though.
Wasn't Jan.
Who was it? Was it someone in featherweight?
No, bro, it was bigger. This is at like 205. Khalil Roundtree. When Khalil Roundtree came back from like his first little Muay Thai like camp, bro. Remember him?
Yeah.
Literally fucking high stepping with the knee. I mean, it was fucking impressive. And you know,
Vettori did something like that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like 205. This guy just like throwing fucking tree chunks, Muay Thai train fucking tree chunks at your fucking
straight up.
Vettori wasn't doing that, but he definitely clearly got some fucking confidence to start kicking.
Oh yeah,
because
he ate up Dolidze's leg. He ate up Dolidze's leg for sure, and that definitely
would.
That's another reason why you can claim that he won, and that would make total sense. Just the kicking aspects, he dominated that. Kept Dolidze away with that, kept him on his toes from that perspective. It wasn't just the hands; you had to worry about the feet. He didn't go for many head kicks.
Dolidze never got rhythm. He never got
He
rid
never
of
did.
him.
No, he never did
Take
because of
off
that.
on Vittori, and
Yeah, because as I
that was
mentioned,
a
because of
big
Vittori's
reason.
counterpunching, and then when he did come forward, he did
That
clip
leg kick.
as well.
That kick was so off-putting to Delize's timing and his groove. I mean, it was perfect. It was the master key, and possibly could have just been the entirety of the the thing. You know.
Hi, Kitty. Say hi. Say hi to the world, Kitty. Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, hot dog and bologna. Anyway, yeah. So I thought that was a very pertinent point to make. All right, Papa. Then you go. Okay. Boom.
Yeah, the kicks were definitely a big point, and I want to say the commentary.
I like Bisping on commentary. I know Covington was fucking talking shit about fucking how like, oh, they should never let Michael Bisping near a fucking mic, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Bisping on the mic.
Oh, I love Bisping on the mic. Yeah,
He got so many good commentators. DC's great.
Everyone has a complaint. You know, Marvin Vittori, I guess, complained.
Bro, all the fighters that they have.
Gaethje complained that Bisping was too biased in the main event, and it's just like, bro, shut up. Just shut up. Like, will you stop commenting about the fucking
Bisping's
commentators of the fight? Bro, of the organization, like, dude, you have nothing else to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's just like every fucking week, these guys complain about something that someone says. Shut up! They're fucking commentators.
2 points.
You know,
2 points. One, Bisping's commentary in the main event is basically the same exact thing as DC's commentary during a Khabib fight. Same exact shit. 2, I want to go back to the main event because of the complaints you said.
And dude, why shouldn't it be?
The fucking first off, Leon Edwards fucking dick kicked him twice, including the second one was bad. Grabbed the glove and egregiously, as we mentioned, grabbed the fucking fence. And I was laughing because it's like literally every time. And then beginning of round 2, when Herb Dean's like, fight, fucking Leon Edwards is still in his side of the fence, and fucking Usman is like literally like right there, and he's like, dude, what the fuck? And they had to stop and get the fuck back. All right, now fight. But it was like literally every few fucking minutes. It's like, dude, bro, Herb, nigga, what are we doing? I thought that was pretty fucking funny too.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Sometimes the behind the curtain, or the, you know what I mean, the veil getting dropped is pretty entertaining to watch. It's that classic clip about the fucking dude when they drop the ice, you know, and fucking Joe Rogan's just like, oh, look at these fucking idiots. You know, it's like it's one of my favorite UFC clips, to be fair. Like, I love it because it's what I would have said. Like, it's what I would, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look at these fucking knuckleheads. You know what I mean? Fucking, I can try to, oh, they fucking spill more ice. Oh, you fucking idiots. You know? And fucking Goldie's just trying to like keep composure. He's just like, oh boy, what a nightmare.
They spilled the ice. Look at these idiots. Spilled the ice again. Virtually identical.
Virtually identical. Yeah, he goes, look at these fucking idiots. Spill the ice again. So you want to be an ultimate fighter?
Don't get these guys in your corner.
Oh man, bro, cracked my voice doing the Goldie. But yeah, but that was a good card. Definitely a good card. We won't really break into the prelims tonight, you know. We usually do, but we're not going to. So
I mentioned Jon Jones in the thing. We talked briefly about Jon Jones winning that 22nd fight. I just want to get your thoughts on how crazy that was.
It was crazy.
It was, yes.
It was crazy because it happened so quickly. You know, I think everyone just gave Cyril Gane way too much stock.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to go over the card in
the entire heavyweight division just got way too much stock. You know what I mean? So I think that's a lot of the result of it. It reminded me of like when GSP came back and fought Bisping. Yeah. You know, where there was a lot of this like, is he still fucking amazing? You know what I mean? Like, and answer yes. Still really fucking good, and you know, able to the fight IQ is still up there. Yeah. So, and the ability is up there. So yeah, very. I don't know. The whole Jon Jones thing. To me, what happened with Francis just it devalues it. You know what I mean? Which the UFC has done themselves.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They did it to themselves.
They shot themselves in
If
the
they
foot. Agreed.
Yeah, if they would have been able to keep Francis around,
That
and
fight
make that
would
fight,
that
which
fight would
would
be the biggest fight that they probably could have made
that fight would have
in
been insane.
years.
And to be fair, like, yeah, Jones
That
probably would have
fight-
won. He
that
probably would have
fight-
beat Francis, but
that fight
still.
would sell out AT&T Stadium, because you talked about AT&T Stadium. That fight would do massive numbers. Along with Conor, if you said Conor may not fight.
If Conor was the main on the card, yes, I could see that. I don't know.
No, that would have to be its own main. So, but
I don't think they're
that's
doing
that's
that.
a big arena fight. That is a big arena fight.
It's a big arena fight, but it's not like insane numbers fight. Like it's a
That's a huge pay-per-view fight. Also, that's a
pay-per-view.
That's a huge pay-per-view fight. That's a big arena fight.
How many buys do you think that fight would have done?
1.5.
You're out of your fucking head. Wow, that's insane. That's
if they build it right,
relax.
If they built it right, gave them plenty of time.
Dude, there's nothing to build right that's gonna get $1.5 million. That's fucking insane. Come on. John has never broken $1 million.
No, I think his base, and he's gone down every.
He's
gone down
right.
And then
I would
7 or 8.
I would say that's an 8 to 900, 8 to $1 million buy.
I think it's $1 million. It's $1 million.
800K. 800K to $1 million buy. I'll go with that.
I'll go solid $1 million.
Okay.
You say 800 at one. I go solid $1 million.
I mean, like, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, if it did like 600. To be fair, like straight up, like if it did 600,000 or 700,000, I would be like
700. Okay, 600 below.
Pay-per-view is just not what it is. But that's the thing. Pay-per-view is just not what it was. It's just so to expect to be like breaking millions every time. That's no longer the ceiling. The ceiling is hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So to break over that,
a good one is like, you're looking, a good draw number is like at most 700. That's a great draw. 700.
That's a fantastic fucking
fantastic draw.
I mean, look, it's just like the same thing with the attendance stuff. We were talking the other day in the group chat. It's like I've always thought, everyone kind of thinks the numbers are always more than they are. It's like the biggest. We'll go through it. The biggest fucking attendance in UFC history is UFC Auckland, UFC 273 with Izzy versus Whitaker.
Yeah,
they had 52,000 people or 47,000 people there.
No, I thought it was more.
It's 47,000 people in a 52,000 capacity seat. They didn't even sell that out.
What about Ronda and fucking and Holm?
Nope. Ronda and all got about 40.
What about Jon Jones in Toronto? I think it was Jon Jones.
Not even on the list.
GSP.
Jon Jones isn't on the list.
Was it GSP that fought in Toronto? Somebody fought in Toronto at the Skydome.
It was like
Skydome fight. That Sky before they went to Australia. The Skydome fight was their high bar for all.
Conor McGregor and Eddie Alvarez did fucking.
I was there.
Did 20,957.
Yeah, I was there at MSG.
And the Garden does 2 capacity sizes. I looked this up.
Yeah.
The first one is a small one of 5,000. The second one is a bigger one of about.
Well, the 5,000. No, the 5,000 is the Hulu arena.
Right, but the 20,000 is what the big Garden is.
Yes.
And they sold that out there.
Yes.
So,
how much does
I don't know what
T-Mobile do.
T-Mobile does 80,000.
No, it does not. 80. No, T-Mobile does not fit 80,000. It fits like.
Well, that's what they said the other day. I haven't looked that up. That's what they said in the chat. I don't fucking know. This is what they put out. I mean, because they said they're looking for a venue of like 80 to 100,000. So it's like
you mentioned that they're going to potentially do AT&T Stadium in Dallas. 20,000 exactly.
So I don't. Where the fuck are these 80,000 fucking numbers coming from? What the fuck?
Because Jerry World fits. You know why Jerry World fits up to 100,000 people, and they're going based off of the Pacquiao fights. Pacquiao has fought and Canelo have both fought consistently.
What fits 100,000?
AT&T Stadium in Dallas, in Arlington.
I thought you just said it fits fucking 28.
No, that's T-Mobile Arena.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, not that one. That's the one I'm talking about. Then the fucking one that actually fits 100,000 people.
Arlington.
That's the one I'm talking about, not the other one.
Yeah.
So that one, that's the one that they're. They targeted for this Conor Chandler thing.
They did over 9, they said the number was like 100-something thousand WWE when they did WrestleMania there. That was a lie, but the official capacity was around like over 93 to 95,000 people for WrestleMania, and that's for a wrestling event with a giant stage. Pacquiao's fights, because they haven't drawn. Let me see. Manny Pacquiao T-Mobile.
Manny Pacquiao is such a much bigger fucking name than
Manny Pacquiao.
Oh man, that's just almost not even comparable to me. Like the boxing world for Manny Pacquiao is like insane.
Yeah, he had the first boxing event at AT&T Stadium against Josh Clottey in 2010. Attendance figure. Where the fuck is the attendance figure? The fight. And they only did 36,371.
Right.
So, I mean, let me do. Let's say counting comp tickets. It was actually 41. So including comps, it was 41. So now let me do Canelo AT&T.
Yeah. So but you could stop there because the answer's already been the question's already been answered.
Yeah, they're not going to fit. Well,
they're not fitting that. They're not doing that.
The only thing I can say
those numbers.
No, the only thing I can say is the Irish travel. The Irish travel. So it's
the Irish traveled to the fucking to other places too. I don't know, dude. That's a lot of fucking people.
73,000 is what Canelo did.
Mayweather and Conor didn't do those numbers.
No, Mayweather and Conor fought in T-Mobile Arena. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that. So they're looking at the reason why they're looking at Canelo.
UFC would be better off doing a T-Mobile.
They're trying to hit that. They're trying to hit Canelo numbers. They can fit. Bro. They'll get like. I think they could break their attendance record at AT&T, but they're not going to get 80 to 100,000. They will not get 80 to 100,000 people. They're trying to. Well, Canelo's the guy.
They get 60. They break their attendance record.
No, they will break it. So Canelo has 73,000, over 73,000, right? Documented with his fight in that stadium, right? Canelo from Mexico, Dallas, Texas, makes sense, right? Even with the traveling people from Ireland for Conor, they will break their attendance record. You said it was 53. 47. You said it was 47.
47 something.
They will 100% break that at that arena. I can see them easily doing 60,000 with Conor there. I could see that. I could definitely see that doing 60,000, 60 to 60,000. I'm going to say around 55 to 65. No more than 65. But to get to 80 to 100, that's a bold-faced lie. That's a pipe dream.
That's a lot. Yeah. I think that's a pipe dream. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I can't see anything more over 60. I just can't. I don't see that happening.
I say 60.
60 would be and honestly, I think if they did 60, I would be like, wow, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
no, really I would agree.
You have to look at the history of it. Yeah. And there's not one, it's like we were talking the other day, and I just assumed that there were much bigger fights than that, but they're just not.
No, well, everybody knows the three biggest fights are the three biggest stadium fights were the two in Australia and then Skydome. Those are the three. Yeah. I think those are the only three stadiums that they've ever run.
I think Pride consistently had much more aggressive, bigger crowds than UFC.
Yeah, because they ran at Tokyo Dome and they ran at Saitama.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they ran at what's called the Pepe Dome, which is
exactly
Pepe Dome, which is in Fukuoka, the Fukuoka Dome, which is not.
I mean, there's just also two Western stadium seating and stuff. It's just they just don't make fucking capacity fucking stadiums over here very often. So
no, well, but they don't have stadium level cards.
They build the stadiums for comfort and like expensivity more than they do like a big.
Well, yeah, but the stadiums aren't. For soccer games. The stadiums aren't built with the intention of having the fights there. They can be converted to have fights there. It's nice to have fights there.
No, but I'm saying like the actual like design of the stadiums in the West versus like Europe and shit, like in the East for sure.
Yeah, because they build them more for intimacy. All those in the East and in Europe and such, they built them more for intimacy. You're just trying to stuff as many motherfuckers as you can inside of Western stadiums. That's fair.
No, I disagree. I think it's actually the opposite. I think it's actually they're trying to stuff as many people as they can actually to watch the event and fill it, which is the point of the stadium or the live event, the live place. In America and in the West, there's so much more emphasis put on the fucking hot dogs, the seats, you know what I mean? Like the bathroom and the comfort of it. They want you to feel like you're having like an experience just to go to that stadium. You know what I mean?
You do. I mean, I can tell you.
You do.
I've been to 2 boxing fights at Madison Square Garden as well as UFC 205. So I've been to 3 combat sports events at Madison Square Garden. I can tell you definitively there is not an experience that I've had in fighting like going to Madison Square Garden to see a fight, because I've been to Amway 3 times to see fights. I've been to American Airlines in Dallas. I've been to the Barclays Center. The Barclays Center is relatively close. It's a newer stadium, and it has that same like feel, but it doesn't have that same. Let me phrase that. It's in the stratosphere of that feel, but just being in Madison Square Garden, there's truly nothing like that. That is an experience in and of itself for the 3 fights that I went to. So I saw Prime Triple G. I saw the greatest women's fight of all time between Amanda Serrano and fucking Katie Taylor. And I saw UFC 205, which is their magnum opus of fighting, with that very first fight at Madison Square Garden. I think that to this day, that card is considered their magnum opus of MMA, to bring that card there. I don't think there's been a card that's been, in terms of the billing, the drawing, the talent that's on there. I can't think of one that's really been up there. Maybe UFC 100 or 200. I think that's really it. When you think about it in terms of historical UFC fights, 205 still ranks amongst the highest ever for me. So not just because I was there, but just in terms of everything that was done for the production, for the stadium, the crowd, the atmosphere, the ambiance. That was UFC's magnum opus.
Yeah.
I really want to real quick. I want to do like a rapid fire of the previous card, because the previous card I think should be mentioned since we missed that. I know you don't want to go in full depth, no problem, nor do I. I just want to do just a quick rapid fire on it. So we mentioned Jon Jones and Cyril Gane. What do you think about Grasso upsetting fucking Shevchenko, dude?
I thought it was, it was surprising. Just
super surprising, dude. Valentina Grasso won round 1. That was like, wow, okay, this may be a fight. Then Shevchenko took over in 2 and 3, and you're like, oh, maybe it's not gonna be a fight. Even though Grasso was still in there, especially in the 3rd round, she came in, she fucking had a way, she had momentum. She was starting to like kind of figure out Shevchenko, like, okay, so now maybe turning into a fight, it'll be a little bit closer, maybe it'll be a 3-2 Shevchenko. And in round 4, Grasso completely took over and then got her back and got the choke. And that was a holy shit moment for real, dude. 100%.
Yeah, it was a crazy ass moment. It really, I was surprised. But it's just like one of these things where, hey, the changing of the guard happens. It just happens. And we both seen it happening just now, or it may have just been a fluke and Shevchenko can come back, but I don't think so.
If they have it in Mexico, no, it's not gonna happen.
If it happens in Mexico, that's gonna be
We were both wrong. We thought Shevchenko was gonna fucking just rip Grasso apart on the feet, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, so we literally both thought that.
We're also both wrong on Jeff Neal and Rachmanov. We talked about Rachmanov potentially getting his shot against Bilal, which is kind of a unfortunate turn of events for Bilal in a way. But we both expected Jeff Neal to fucking pretty much do pretty well in that fight, and that was not the case. Even though Jeff Neal did do well given the circumstances, and he got a bonus despite the fact he missed weight. That was pretty telling, considering Rachmanov stood in there, fucking ate some of those power, traded back with him, and then just dominated him on the ground when he did manage to get him in ground grappling exchanges.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was a it was a big coming out show for Rachmanov. Unfortunately, it's not going to yield him very many points with the promotion. Yeah, you know what I mean? He still has a lot of groundwork to do. So yeah, we'll see.
Your boy Jalen Turner took another L against fucking Gamero. Yeah, that was pretty. I
don't even remember that fight.
That was pretty decisive. We thought Turner was really gonna fucking show out. No, that wasn't the case. And honestly, we talked about real quick about Fiziev. What's next for Fiziev? Gamero. If they want to push Gamero, give him Fiziev next. That'll be a big test. If he can manage to get Gamero in there, he'll potentially get into the 5, depending on how the rest of the division shakes out.
That could be all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see that. And then the final fight was Bo Nickal' fucking complete destruction of Jamie Pickett. We both called that. That was what it was. Bo Nickal now fucking leaps and bounds, I think, in his next fight. I don't think they're going to keep him. I think he's going to really go up there. He's not ranked as of yet, as far as I see. No, he's not ranked as of yet. As I said on the podcast the previous week, or the previous time we did the podcast, I should say, I think they should put him against fucking Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis has that beef with having been picked. Oh no, never mind. Chris Curtis has that beef with fucking Penis Wrinkle McGee. Fucking what's his dick? Rosas.
It's him and Ryan. Where's Ryan Spann at?
Light heavyweight, I believe. Yeah, light heavyweight. He's ranked 10 in the light heavyweight division. Oh, did Rosas win? I just thought about that. We didn't talk about the prelims because we didn't watch them. Rosas, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, never mind. Rosas is on the next card. It's 280.
I want to say he didn't fight.
No, Rosas is 287.
Yeah,
which we'll go over next week on our show because that fight is the week afterwards. Yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, we'll break him down in the preview.
Yeah. Anyway, though, fucking Bo Nickel fucking dominated. Everybody expected that. Really not anything else to be said. That was what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, but there's, like you said, 287's coming up. We got a lot going on this next week in the world of MMA, but yeah, you know, the 286 was huge. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely go back and watch the main event, check it out.
Main and co-main for sure.
The main and co-main for sure, just because they're really, both of them are, especially the main. It's a lot. There's a lot that happens in that fight, like for the division, for the sake of the division. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of implications in that fight, and way more than the Gaethje Fiziev fight is just very purely entertaining and awesome. You know. So,
let me ask you something, just a hypothetical thing before we wrap up. In terms of Leon Edwards, he just beat arguably one of what was considered the greatest welterweight of all time, considering Usman versus George St. Pierre, that debate. What will it take for Rocky to get up in that conversation?
Of what?
Greatest welterweights.
Fucking.
You don't think he's gonna get there at all?
No, fucking 3-4 years of keeping the belt. That's what'll keep him there. That's what'll start.
Yeah, you want him to run through the division in order to fucking get up there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he can't even. Yeah, nah. It's you have to beat. I mean, beating Usman twice is definitely a big one. You have to beat Kobe. You know, you'd have to beat Masvidal. You'd have to beat Rachmanov. You'd have to beat just all these young killers that are coming up. That's what I said. He'd have to hold on to the belt for the next 3 or 4 years, and then sure, we can have that conversation. But until he does that, I mean, it's like I said, it's like one of these guys where he really wasn't even supposed to get the belt. You know what I mean? Like he was just kind of one of those guys who was like, seemed like you'd never get the shot, and he would just turn into like a John Fitch type of character and fade off in the sunset. You know what I mean? Gatekeeping or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that he won is awesome, and it does display his abilities, but he's by no means the fucking baddest dude in that division. There's a lot of guys in that division that can give him trouble.
Yeah.
And Leon is not going to be able to fight safe anymore. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, like he's done in the past. Like, so
the fight I really want to see that I think he would definitely lose. I would 100% pick against him is Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns, I think.
You think he loses that fight?
No, I think Leon. Yeah, I think Leon loses that fight against Gilbert Burns.
Wow,
I do.
Bro, that's crazy.
I do. Durinho's got power.
Fuck, I want to end this podcast, but you just fucking exploded my head.
No, Durinho's got power. Durinho's got power. He's got solid boxing. He's got forward pressure, and he's got what's called very underrated ground game. He's for sure got a very underrated ground game.
Bro, if Marty's not taking down Leon, Gilbert ain't either.
Well, that's a fair process, but
I don't think that he's going to be able.
Everything depends on the caveats in which you manage to get there. So for me, one of the reasons why Usman didn't get a chance to fucking really do anything is positioning. He kept taking him down against the cage. He never got any clear takedowns. And granted, that's also up to Leon's defense. Leon's ground defense, as we mentioned previously, has improved exponentially. So you're right. That would probably be a tougher ask for Burns to do. But I think Burns, in terms of jiu-jitsu, I think Burns has better jiu-jitsu than Usman. I think Burns, in terms of like jiu-jitsu itself, amongst the top 5, has the best jiu-jitsu of the 5. If you look at the rest of them, Bilal's not known for fucking jiu-jitsu whatsoever. Kamzat's not in there anymore. Covington is known for wrestling, keeping you down. So that's where we mentioned where Leon's going to struggle because Colby's going to be incessantly going for takedowns. He will get them. And I think the way that Colby keeps people down is different and better than the way Usman does. I mean, and you got Rachmanov, but who knows when we'll see that Rachmanov title fight if we do. In terms of jiu-jitsu itself, Gilbert Burns has the best jiu-jitsu. So I think that would prove to be a challenge, even though Leon Edwards, believe it or not, is a Gracie Barra black belt. So he's not.
Leon's no slouch, though.
He's not a slouch.
You know, we just don't see it. But I mean, he's got subs too. He's pretty good on the ground.
I would love to see that. I would love to see a ground fight between them. I would love to see a ground fight. That would be.
I don't think he would take some on the striking. I think Leon counters the hell out of him and stays out of his way for the most part. I think Gilbert
if Gilbert
I don't
gets
know.
him on the ground,
Gilbert is heavy, man. He's a heavy-footed forward guy, and that is perfect for fucking Leon's counter striking. Like that's just, I don't know. On paper, to me, that's Leon all day.
I would still pick Gilbert. There's something about that matchup. You're making very valid points, and I think most people would probably say like you're absolutely right, and that Leon would win. There's something I feel about that fight, not just because just I'm a Gilbert
I'd
fan.
love to see it,
but
I definitely love to watch it.
I feel that if he fights Durinho, I think that would be one hell of a massive test for Leon. More so than, well, I shouldn't say more so than Kobe, but yeah, I think that would be I think that's the fight that I really want to see out of all the fights that he could potentially have. I want to see that one the most.
Yeah,
that'll be a real test.
Definitely, man, definitely. Well, I mean, you got anything else you want to run? You got anything else you want to run through? I'm
I'm
pretty good.
I'm good, Chief.
I think we got this guy. Yeah, it's a good one.
Good.
Like I said, there's a lot going on this week. There's a lot going on this next week. We got, Kobe Covington coming up. That's going to be in the news. We got the Chandler Connor stuff coming up. The USADA thing's there's more stuff coming out about USADA this next week. So buckle up. It's going to be a good one. And then like next weekend or this next episode, we'll preview 287. We'll jump into that. We'll probably
we can't because that would be next. The next one would be if today's a Wednesday because I'm Tuesday the 21st, 28th. The fight is the week afterwards. So technically,
we'll figure it out.
We got a light week next week, and then the week after is when our preview.
However, we're going, but we'll get into it. So, guys, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everybody following, the likes, the mentions, the comments. We love it all. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
People don't get podcasts on
Twinstagram,
whatever. That's our socials.
Ister, you know what I mean? Anywhere, just Google MMA for Marks and you will find our lovely faces here in these boxes surrounded by flames of lightning. So for your entertainment and your laughing.
A lot of good we talk about dick, pussy, my Pornhub.
Yeah. Not a lot of MMA, but some we sprinkle it in. So just get a little bit on there, a little bit of the little salt guy. What the fuck his name is. So shout out Salt Guy. Shout out W2M Network. A shout out Sean, our editor. He's always out there. He's in the background. He's like a sniper, like a recon agent.
He's been on game.
Thank you, Sean.
We should hopefully, knocking on wood, we should get this out fairly quickly because he's been on point with our anime podcast.
It's out right now, baby. What are you talking about?
Point. He's on point
right now,
bro. We literally did. Last week's episode we did on Friday. He got it out Saturday afternoon. I was like, wow, like he's been on.
He's good. Yeah, man. You doubting him, bro, but he's good.
I'm not doubting him. I'm just because he had his personal issues and now he's dialed in. So
Sean, Ethan's doubting you. I've heard it. I'm not doubting. We've all heard it on this podcast, so it's okay. We believe in you.
I'm doubting Sean. His Christmas present is finally going to get to him this week.
Wow, dude, that's good. That's good of you.
Come to find out, I sent this Christmas
March.
Present.
That's good,
dude. I sent the Christmas present.
Is this Christmas for this coming year?
No, bro. So here, no. His Christmas present. First off, his Christmas present.
Only you would brag about sending a Christmas present in fucking spring.
No, bro. His first present was delayed by a month to find out it was sold out. I got him a second present. It was delivered to the wrong address, and he never got it. So I had to contact customer support. They sent a new one for free. Now he's getting it after the third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. Just shit.
All right, man. It's okay, dude. We believe you.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up prim and proper. You can follow him at MMA for Marks on Instagram and on Facebook. We have our page, the MMA for Marks page on Facebook. Come join us. Come follow us. You'll get more of our angst. Not our angst. What the fuck did I say? Our angst.
Anger. You'll get more of our anger.
No, you'll get more of our insights as well as a community full of fucking MMA guys that love to talk shit and actually provide decent insights frequently. So it's definitely a venue to worth checking out. Let us know you heard us on the podcast. We'll definitely shout you out. You can follow me on Twitter at SHOSTOPPA24. That's Showstopper24. You can follow me on Instagram at podcast.senpai. And again, as Andy said, shout out to our boy Sean with W2M Network. Thank you so much for hosting us. Shout out to my boy Matt with the Talk to Kiki podcast, also available on W2M Network, also recording every Thursday and or Friday. All of our socials have link trees where you can follow our personal endeavors, and you can find, as Andy said, us on anywhere you ingest your podcast, whether that be Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Amazon. No matter where you are, as Andy said, if you can know how to work Google and type in MMA for Marks, you'll find us, you'll find our show, you'll find something related to MMA and a bunch of other fuckery that we like to sprinkle in. So, anything else, Governor? I think it's time to go. Until next time, motherfuckers.
If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing.